Hello, everybody. My name is Becky Johnson. I'm the Professional Development System Specialist at First Things First. I currently oversee the Registry and College Scholarship Strategy, as well as I oversee the Professional Development Work Group, which is comprised of several stakeholders throughout the state, state agency partners, professional development providers, direct providers, institutes of higher education, and several other folks in different capacities. So if you're interested in learning more about that group and you would like to participate, let me know. But today we're going to talk about the Career and Professional Development Network. So let's get going. So we often hear, many of you hear about the network, and most people in my experience hear that and think about the registry. So if we look at the network as a whole, the registry is just one branch of the network. So if we look up here in purple, the registry includes the subpool, which we'll talk about today. Individuals are given a career lattice level in the registry. It also contains college scholarships, an application for college scholarships, as well as rewards, a small financial incentive strategy through First Things First. And then, of course, where people keep their professional development trainings, their educational attainment as it relates to early childhood. So that's just one branch, but the network is actually comprised of a number of other things as well. If we go counterclockwise, the next one in green is the Instructor and Technical Assistance Provider Standards. So it's a set of standards that you can find on the network website if you're providing PD or doing TA in our state with the early childhood workforce. We also have, many people are familiar with the workforce knowledge and competencies. That full document is part of the network. Then the career lattice, so the actual document that shows how different educational attainment, professional development hours, and years of experience all align. And then again, we switch back over to the registry, and that's where people get that individual lattice level. Today, we're going to focus on the blue branch of this tree or map, and that's the Career and Professional Development Network website. So if we go a little bit deeper or further into that, today, we're going to look at FTF College Scholarship Tutorial and frequently asked questions. We're going to look at the registry tutorials, upcoming events, the network newsletter, and job bank. Now, if you're one of those people that's like, oh, I can't hear any more about the registry, I get it. We talk a lot about the registry, but really the things that we're going to talk about today are not so much registry related and FTF College Scholarship related. They're more related to the job bank and the subpool. So I'm just going to go over some of those other things really quickly and then jump into the meat of what this presentation is, and that's the job pieces. The website that we are talking about is azearlychildhood.org. So if you go to that address, you'll be able to follow along. And in fact, you could have this video going and pull up what I like to call it just the network. But if you want to pull up the network website and follow along as we're going, that might be very helpful. You'll see a number of links up in the upper right-hand corner, as well as the little teal box registry that goes to the general, what you're all familiar with, azregistry.org. So the first thing we're going to talk about is First Things First college scholarships. Again, this one I'm going to go through pretty quickly because many of you are familiar with this, and it doesn't relate so much to the job bank and the subpool things that we want to focus on, but I just quickly want to show you some of the things that are available. Under Advance Your Career, if you click on Scholarship and Incentives, this is the part of the scholarship piece that kind of walks your employees or your students through everything they would need to know. It's much longer. This is just a quick snapshot of everything they would need to know to get prepared to apply for that scholarship. But then the scholarship application process actually happens within the registry. So this, if they want to know more information about how to get involved or to see if they're eligible, this would be a good place to start. Moving into some other instructional pieces, if we go back out to that home page and then click About under Using the Registry, Many of you probably remember we used to have a spiral bound book, published, color published book that showed both administrators and participants how to use different features in the registry. Well, because the registry is constantly evolving and being updated, we thought, well, that we're changing so many things, a lot of these pages are no longer relevant. And every time we would go to schedule a new printing of that book, something else was updated. So we thought, let's move this into an online format, and that's what you'll see here. So if you click using the registry, you'll see a list of how-to guides. We keep these updated as we update the registry, so you can just go through and search. If you see the teal box up in the upper left-hand corner, view the network guide, those are more talking points, or why do we use the registry? Why do we fund the registry? Why is it here? If you have a new employee and you want to help kind of explaining what the registry is and what its purpose, that would be a good thing to click on. But if you're looking at more of how do I do this task in the registry how-to guides are a really helpful resource. If there's something on here that you find that you thought, I don't know how to do this and I'm not seeing a registry guide, contact me and we would happily create that and add that. And sometimes we don't always know what we don't know. Like, I know how to do this task, but I forget that this might be new for somebody who's not as familiar. Let me know and I would love to continue to add to this list. Once you click on one of those tutorials, it will literally walk you through step by step. First click here, then push this button. It's just a step-by-step guide. If you're more of a visual auditory learner and you would like to see us kind of manipulating the screen or doing a screencast like I'm doing now, you can go to resources and then video resources. And it's just that it will walk you through how to do different tasks in the registry with me narrating where I'm clicking and what I'm doing. One of our most used guides is how to find your registry ID number, because it's not hidden, but unless you're looking for it on a regular basis, it's not jumping out on the screen. So it's literally like 1 minute and 15 seconds, I think, and it shows you quickly how to find that. And we have people clicking on it constantly because it's just a quick way to follow along and get done exactly what you need to get done. So take a look. We're in the process of updating a lot of these videos. So if you're not seeing something, check back, or again, let me know if there's something that you want help knowing how to do on the registry. And I would love to create a new video or a new tutorial for you and get it added to this library of resources. Next, we're going to look at upcoming events. This is one that's really helpful for organizations and professional development providers who have kind of conferences and big events coming up. This is not tied to the registry. So this is different than going into the registry as a sponsoring agency or as an instructor and creating an event or a course. This is primarily for promotional and marketing purposes. So if you click on events in the upper right-hand corner, it will give you a list of events that have been submitted to me or to our network pages overseen by a marketing contractor. So I get events and then I send them to that marketing contractor and they post them here. So this is an event that's happening. That organization sent us all the details. Once you click view event, it will give you even more information about the event. If you have pictures you want to share, even a video you want to share, and then a link of how they can register. And that link might even take them to the registry where they register for that PD. But again, this is just to get people to notice that you have something coming up that you want the workforce to know about. We can also share these events through our monthly newsletter, which we're going to talk about in just a moment, but it helps push and get it out there. That newsletter goes to everyone that has a registry account. So that's about 60,000 people this could potentially reach. So if you have things that you have coming up or in the future, you're planning an event, send them to me so we can send them out. The one thing is we do try and keep this to events that are open for all. If you have a very limited audience, we try and kind of keep that. We don't want people to see something really exciting and then find out, oh, I'm not actually eligible to go to that. So just something to keep in mind to promote your programs. That monthly newsletter that I talked about, again, this is sent to all registry members. People can submit. These are things that come across our desk. things that we feel are important to the entire early childhood workforce, upcoming events, just different, trying to think of some, there was some updates to the ERS, the environmental rating scale recently, and we wanted people to know that that was a big change. So just things that are relevant to the professionals. This isn't geared for parents or families. This is really geared to our professional community. Next, we're going to look at the job bank. And I'm just going to pause here for a second and say, if you've tuned everything out, this might be why you are listening to this presentation. So tune back in, because this is something I think people are showing some excitement around and could be really helpful to you as a director or administrator. So if you go to advance your career and then click on jobs in early childhood education, we do have a job bank embedded in the website. So what this does is, again, it's a job bank, but if you scroll further down on the page, it also kind of tells people that are interested in the early childhood field, here are some different job types that you might be interested in. People have contacted us and say, I'm interested in I'm a teacher now, but what else is out there? So this page gives a little bit more information about where you can go with early childhood as a career. But we're going to hone in on the job bank itself. So if you click that teal box that says view our job bank, this is just a sample of what came up as I was creating this presentation. So this job bank pulls from a few different sources. It pulls from Indeed using keywords. I believe it pulls from Monster. I have to double check on that. But then it is populated with jobs that you, directors, administrators, owners, post. So you can go in and actually post your current openings to be listed on this job bank. So once you click on post a job, this is what you'll see. Keep in mind, I've had questions. Oops, I'm going to go back. I have had people ask, like, oh, it says single job posting $0, but what if I need to post 3 jobs? We did clarify, the marketing contractor reached out to the job bank and they said, nope, it's unlimited. So you can post as many jobs as you need, as many jobs as you have available, and you will never be charged. This is a free service to the workforce. So once you go in and click post job, you do need to create an account. So you need to be able to manage that job. So if you fill that position, yay, but you also need to be able to take it down so you don't continue to get applications. Maybe the job title changed a little bit and you need to go in and change and edit that. But also you need to be able to log in going down the road. Maybe you have a new job. So you do have to create an account. Once you have an account, then you are able to create an employer profile. And this kind of sticks with you as long as you have this account. So you go in and add all of your information, and then it would have you scroll down and you create the individual jobs that you have available that you want to post. So, oops, I'm going to go back. Once you have your jobs in there, you'll just save it and it will post it to the public. So I hope you find this a useful tool, and I'm trying to think if there were specific questions in the presentation I did that I could answer. If I think of them, I will maybe add them in later, but yeah, I hope you find this to be a useful tool. Next, we're going to move into the sub pool or the substitute pool. So everything we've looked at up until this point has been on the network, on the public website that anybody could access. We're now looking within the registry. So anything from here on out, you have to have a registry account to access. And once you log into the registry, your tools on the left-hand side of the screen might look a little bit different than mine. It just depends what access level you have. Like if you're an administrator, yours will look different than your teachers as participants. If you are a PD instructor or provider, you'll have different tools than I would have. So everyone has this substitute pool link and access, but it just depends on what your level is. So as an administrator of a program, your sub pool is going to look different than a participant who serves as a teacher or an assistant. So as an administrator, you're going to have two things. One, a substitute profile for you as a professional, and then find a substitute. So you as an administrator who need to fill a temporary opening, you would use the find a substitute. I just want to delineate a little bit between the job board and the sub pool. So the sub pool, both are free for anybody. Again, sub pool, you have to have a registry account. Job bank, it's open access. But really the intention of the job bank is to post and find candidates that are coming into your community as, you know, a part-time or full-time member moving forward. That maybe there's an employee contract or something like that, a long-term position. The sub pool is really meant to fill temporary positions. Maybe you have somebody out on maternity leave, or somebody's having surgery, or even just a couple days here and there. It's not meant, the intention of the sub pool is not meant to be that long-term filling a position tool. Now, you may find somebody that serves as a sub a few times and you fall in love, they with your program, you with them as an employee and a member of your professional community. But the original intention is that this is a temporary basis. You have a few slots you need to fill. With all that being said, we had a lot of back and forth with providers that gave us feedback on this tool, as well as our legal counsel, our first things first lawyer. And the lawyer asked us to make it very clear that the substitute pool is not vetting employees for programs. So we're not looking at fingerprint clearance card. We're not looking at background checks. We're not checking to see if they have their TB card. We're simply allowing people to post their contact information and their times and locations of availability. And then you, as the hiring agency or as the administrator, you're going in and vetting that person and making sure they have everything they need in order to legally work for your program, even on a one-day or temporary basis. So we do require legally that anybody that goes in and uses this tool, both as an administrator or as a participant, as a sub candidate, have to go in and select, hey, yep, I've read this. I know first things first is not guaranteeing, or the registry is not guaranteeing employment of any, they're not involved in that at all. They're simply giving us a list of people that are available. And I, as the administrator, could choose to contact them or not. Okay, so that's one, just have to give that disclaimer. Once I go in, this is just a reminder for everybody to keep your registry information up to date, especially if when you go into that sub pool, if you are serious about getting contacted, then your information should be up to date. And if it's not, then they might find you and you're not able to be contacted, so you can't fill that role. So just always making sure that your information is up to date, and it will prompt sub candidates to double check this information. From there, the sub candidates are able to select the geographic locations they're able to serve in. So maybe I live in Arizona City and I want to select cities or regions within a certain mile radius that I'm comfortable being called to drive to or to get transportation to. So this just simply pulls up a list of all the cities that anybody with an Arizona registry account have listed as their location, as their city. So it's quite a long list, but we want to make sure we have everybody. And region seem too big, county seem too big. Not everybody wants to drive anywhere in some of our very large counties. So we did it by city or town basis. So long list there, but very important for people to select where they're interested in driving. Then maybe I'm a student, or maybe I'm working in a program only in the mornings and I am looking for employment. We do want to be mindful to let people know there are non-compete clauses in some jobs and some employment contracts. And so those people should not be posting their availability here. So If you are available and able to be serving as a sub, then you would go ahead and select the times that you're available. Maybe I'm a student and I have class on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Wednesday afternoons I work another gig. So I'm available anytime on Monday, anytime on Friday, and then the morning of Wednesdays. So I go ahead and indicate that information here. If you are having a changing or rotating schedule, then it is the responsibility of the substitute candidate to go in and say their availability for each week. So we're looking into sending out a weekly or a regular reminder for subs to update their availability. We wouldn't want people to get disappointed or frustrated by going in and finding the perfect sub and then finding out, oh, that was last week or last month's availability. It doesn't work. The last thing a sub candidate can do is if they have their educational attainment, their professional development, or their training published in the registry, if they've submitted their transcripts, if they've kept up to date with their work history, those are all things they can share with potential sub employers. These are privacy things, so we did have to make this optional. Not everybody's going to want to share that information up front. And so then a substitute employer can ask that for that information, or say, oh, if they don't have it posted, I'm not interested in following up. That really is a personal decision. Again, first thing first is staying out of the hiring and the vetting process. We weren't allowed to just share that information openly. We had to give people the choice due to our privacy policies. Once they click submit, then their information is shared. This now, the screen you see now, is the screen you would see as an administrator. So maybe my program is located in Arizona City, and I'm looking for somebody on Mondays and Wednesdays, basically the whole time my program is open. So then you would search. I have to warn you before I click the next screen. We have not shared this. This is brand new. So we haven't showed this to candidates yet. We haven't showed this to the workforce yet. So you're not going to see a big list of sample people that have put their information in. So then our next step is really to get the word out and get people that are unemployed or looking for additional hours or wanting to get into the field, targeting college students and CTE students who are looking to fill, maybe those days that they're subbing, then they have a rotating schedule or whatnot. People that would be good to serve as substitutes, we need to target them through email and marketing so they can fill up that list. So you as administrators go in there and there's actually people to select from. So this is what you do it as an administrator. And then once we get this going, it will populate a list of people. Right now, it's just me as a sample. So under profile, you'll see a little piece of paper. You click that and it will give you this information. So it gives you my contact information, when I'm available, where I'm available. If I had my employer information posted, if I had my education, if I had submitted my transcript, it would give that here. It would give any of my work history, my professional development. You will see on the right-hand side, this account is used as a test account. So you'll see I have a lot of jobs. I've done a lot of changing around. It's only because we use this as a test account. So like when Ask changed their name to Kendall, and we had to make sure that name change stuck. So we used it as a sample under this kind of fake profile. But normally you would see real jobs and real lengths of time listed for the subs that you're interested in. I want to go back for just a moment because you'll see email and it's a little print. This gives you the option to email the sub candidate directly, but this is going to be sent from the email that you have as your registry account. So if you've used your personal email as your registry sign-in, it will go from that email. So you might want to just copy down from this profile page, the email, and then email them from that email instead of your personal email. But it just depends. Maybe you only have one email, or maybe you use your work email as your registry account. Just be mindful that it's tied to whatever email you use in the registry. That's about all I have for you. if you have any questions, please reach out to me, bjohnson@firstthingsfirst.org. Also, if you, going back to upcoming events, like I said, if your organization is going to be hosting an event and you want to kind of get the word out there, you can always let me know, send those to me, and I'm happy to get them added to our events page and potentially our newsletter. But I hope you find these tools useful, and I look forward to seeing how it goes for everybody. I'd love to hear from you.